Hey everyone, it's Christy with Crafted by Christy. I wanted to hop on real quick and show you a few tricks I like to do to fix my paper. Whenever I do the dyeing process, ink dye, tea dye, whatever, a lot of times I get in a big hurry and I tear my paper like this. Like it'll have edges that are torn or kind of raggedy looking. I got a few of them out here that I've monkeyed up, but I wanted to show you how I like to fix them so that if I need the full page, you know, in my journal, I can still use it. Plus, giving it that vintage look at the same time, which I love. And I'm sure some of these you already do. Maybe it'll inspire you to something that you haven't done in a while, or you'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. But anyway, I just thought I'd show you a few of the things I like. My favorite one is the pattern paper. I just tear off a little piece of it, and I like using the glue stick because I did try this with art glitter glue and it seeps through it really bad, and the glue stick doesn't, and it does hold it, believe it or not, or it actually holds it pretty well. So I just run it across there and put it on. I kind of straighten out as much as I can my normal paper, the paper, if it's what's left. Sometimes there's hunks of it gone, so you really can't put anything back, but sometimes you can, like this one. And I'm just gonna lay it across there. And what this reminds me of, what made me think of this, was I went to a library sale, and you know, some of the older books, when they try to keep them as long as they can and repair them, and then you can put a little ink on it if you want to really make that edge pop out. Anyway, to repair them, sometimes they'll just put tape or whatever, and seeing that in some of the books, I liked the way it looked, and I thought, ooh, I should try that. So that's my number one favorite thing to do, is the pattern paper. Another good one is to use the coffee filters, and I just usually do it on both sides because this one actually had a hunk out. So I put it on both sides. Same thing, glue stick, just tore a piece of coffee filter. Also could use tea bags, look really good. Another thing that I like to do, oh, and here's an example of the pattern paper with the art glue. See how it kind of, you can tell where I put the glue. I didn't like that look as well, but you can do that. Another thing is just regular tape, and what I did with that, I put it down on a piece like this that it wouldn't stick to, just a piece of tape. And while I'm showing you that, I'm also going to show you, I like to use masking tape, and I'm going to put a piece of that down as well. And you can just ink this, which I have done as well. Oops, there's my fabric. Inked it like that. And on the masking tape, it takes it a little bit to dry. So I'm going to do half of it with just the inking. And then what I really like to do to really grunge it up, and this is what it will look like, real grungy. And this was just on some tea-dyed paper that I had tore. So I took the distress ink, the spray, and just spray it on, just a little spritz of it. You can do it on both the regular tape and the, well, be nice if I hit the tape. All right, well, I'm gonna soak that up with some of my paper because I can't let that go. Ooh, I know. One of the things I'm going to use is a book page. So I'll put that on there. I love that this one is gathered twigs, and I like the color that it always comes out. Also, another thing I'm going to use is just some edging offcuts that I just sewed on it. I was watching Which Craft Do You Do? Like Witch, W-H-I-C-H, on, isn't that cool? On video, and they had a digital of just like strips of paper, and it looked like it had sewing in it. And I thought, well, I could make that. I have tons of these offcuts, so I just went in and sewed down the middle of a bunch of them just for fun. And I've been using them on the edges. So I'm going to sop up the extra on that. Kind of rub it around on my masking tape and my regular tape. Picked up all the extra. And I'm going to let these dry for a minute while I show you some of the other things. Like I said, one good way to cover up a small tear is with a book page or magazine page or whatever you have. I like the grungy look. As long as you do, this is the fix for you. If you don't, probably not so much. And I think that looks really cool. Okay, so that's, I've stuck to the page. And then when you have a lot of weakness like this right here, the whole thing is gone, I like to just take my tea-dyed offcuts and glue them. This does two things. When you glue it a double like this, you're going to sturdy up your edge. Plus, you're going to use your offcuts. This one I just stamped with some corrugated cardboard where there was lines where you could actually write on the edging. The other side, I just stamped. And I just did random things to show you could, you know, if there was a meaning behind it. Like I used the word art. There's a little saying, random numbers, some tickets. But you can customize that to fit whatever journal you're putting it in. And then I would just glue it. I wouldn't sew it because your paper's already weak. But you could, you know, fake sew it, like on this one. Sew it first and then glue it down. I think that would make a real nice way to fix this edge and keep your papers evened up. And then, of course, another way is to use your fabric tabs. Of course, this is well, it's not too big, I guess. You could you know, just do a fabric edge. It wouldn't even have to be a tab. But if it was a smaller hole, like this one, let's see, let's find a smaller one. Like this, you could just loop your fabric over it, of course, and the glue is going to do, again, two things. It's going to sturdy up your paper, and it's going to look really, really nice. Strong enough that you would even be able to hang beads and things from here. But I do like the edging just to do both sides. This piece isn't quite big enough to cover the other side, but I think you see where I'm going with that. And then, of course, there's the old standby washi tape. Let's see if our tapes are dry enough to show you what they will look like. Now, this one is darker, this masking tape, because when I sprayed it, I didn't dab any off. I just let it dry, and it made it really dark and really vintagey, grungy looking. I liked it. This one, I dabbed it off a little bit, so it's not quite as dark, but you still get the grunge look to it. So you still want to run it across some glue stick, even though it's pretty sticky with the masking tape. I would run it across just for the extra hold. that it's going to give you. And then just do it over both sides like that. And you get your really nice, now of course my tear is too big, but I'm just putting it there to show you how cool it would look on the edge of your paper. This is just the inked part. This is the spray part. And then the regular clear tape that I can't get back off my, here we go. Can't get the edge of it. It is, I thought it wasn't supposed to stick to this. Isn't that what I said? Well, I have just gone this up so terrible. Okay. So, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell it because I did dab it off. Yeah, you can still see it's colored somewhat. And if it's not dark enough, you can always go over it with your ink and it will stress it. Especially if you want to go along the sides where it gives it that really, probably be better off to use a glue stick. But I think that gives you the idea of how you can keep that vintage, grungy look and fix your papers at the same time. This was a piece of packaging, like that cello packaging. I don't know if you can tell it, but I sprayed it with some things, and it gives a good look too. I mean, you could glue that on there as well, or you can use other kinds of paper, like paper that you've collaged, or like this, this is from a paper bag. But I really think my favorite is, and this is the tape, how I was trying to do when you can tell it really well on this blue ink dye, better than the tea dye because it's kind of the same, but that's the look the regular tape will give you. The coffee paper, the masking tape, book page. This is pattern paper. And then to do the stamped edges, like so. And I think also, and then the fabrics, and also the sewn paper that I done. I think that all of these things will just really add to your project and keep your papers strong so that you don't have to cut off quite so much. And if you get in a big hurry doing your dyeing like I do, that will help to sturdy that back up. Anyway, I hope this gave you some inspiration and maybe a couple of ideas of how you can fix those. And if you do other things, I'm sure there's a bazillion ideas out there of ways to fix your torn papers. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you do it. If any of these things were helpful to you, let me know. And if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm getting ready to do some more tutorials on using boxes. This was a lasagna box. I used gesso on it right now because I'm getting ready to make a notepad ink pen holder out of it, and contact paper is what I will use. Anyway, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. This little journal that I made, it's for myself. I know that it's way grungy, just rustic for anyone to purchase, but I loved it so much. But anyway, I wanted to show you, it's not bound in yet, but I was just going to show you that how I used the methods that I just told you about. I think this is actually tea dyed paper, a little bit of washi tape, more tea dye, some brown paper bag. And these were just areas that were either weak or they actually had a hole in them. Let's see if I can find, I know I used more than that in here. Oh, here's some. This is some of the pattern paper that I used in the seam to strengthen it up. I love it. And like I said, it's not bound in yet, so I can show you both sides. But I thought it looked neat. And then there's some of the masking tape that I used on both sides, actually. It looks better. My lighting is not well, but it actually looks better in person. It's very grungy. If you like grungy, I guess. If you don't, you probably think this is all hideous. But I just wanted to show you. And up here, I used a little bit of... I think that's decoupage paper that I just had a little piece of, so I stuck it there because it was torn. And this is just tea dyed, I think. I thought I used some coffee filter, but I guess I didn't. Okay. Well, anyway, I just wanted to give you an idea of how I use it, and you know, it's mainly, like I said, for the grunge. And you know what's funny about this little book, this is off the subject, but when I first started watching videos of junk journaling, I saw a lot of people, they would staple their tabs on, and I thought, why would you do that to these beautiful journals? Just staple it, use your glue. Well, I get it. I stapled every one of these, and not because I don't have glue, because I liked... Oh, well, I didn't staple this one. I like how it looks. I like the awful, grungy, rustic way that it looks. I just liked it. And I say rustic, I don't know why. I'm sure back in the, the vintage, they probably didn't have staplers like this. I don't know. But anyway, that's, like I said, off subject. But I wanted to show you how I had, recovered some of the weak spots and tears in my papers. I actually think that, even if you didn't have tears, I think it adds character, the tape. Ooh, doesn't that sound neat? Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I think it adds character, even though, I don't know. Maybe that's it. I understand it's definitely not for everybody to like all those things, but I wanted to just give you an idea of how I used it, and that's that. Okay. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you find some inspiration from these ideas. Please share with me things that you do, how you add character to your pages or correct your, tears or, anything like that. I'd love to hear about it. If you want to, please put it in the comments. And if you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, guys. See you next time.